Hello everyone who joined the tour. So it is 4 p.m. Central European time and we start our tour across Patriarch in Moscow. So let me introduce myself. So I will switch the camera for a second. Hello everyone. My name is Masha and I'm your Localie in Moscow. So today we are walking with you around the most, from my opinion, are the most cozy city center spot, Patriarch. And honestly, so today my main goal, I would say, is to make you feel this place and really enjoy it, because it is very interesting, not because of its historical maybe treasures, but in terms of its environment, atmosphere and people. So the tour will be around 40-45 minutes. A warm welcome to all who joined, and during this tour I will show you lots of beautiful spots and tell you stories and share with you some tips, of course. So stay tuned. During these 40 minutes we will know a lot about this place and of course have fun, enjoy and know much more about Moscow city center and Moscow itself. So warm welcome to everybody. Let me remind you that we have a chat where you can put your comments and questions, not only about the tour but about the city itself. So please feel free. You are warmly welcome. Thanks for your hearts. I see them in the chat. So let's start. I turn my camera and enjoy. So here we go. We are now just nearby their place, which is called Patriarch, and it is called, of course, because of the pond in the main, in the center of this area. But honestly, so today, as you can see, it is very crowded. But honestly, as you can see, there is only one pond over here, and lots of tourists are asking why then the place is called Patriarch. The history of this place goes back to the 17th century, where when it was really like a couple of ponds, 3 of them, but then 200 years after, only one existed, survived, I would say. So that's why nowadays we have it only one. But this is one of the main, I would say, citizens' spot of attraction, because lots of people go here just to enjoy. Hi, sorry. Or not, this you have seen already. One of whom you have seen already. So, and it is always crowded here. So I cannot even say that during the week it's less people here. I'm always very surprised when I see lots of people on Monday or Tuesday here. But today it is even more crowded because the weather is really very nice. As you can see, it is warm, it is sunny, which is very unusual for the end of September. It is about plus 19. As you can see, all the people are wearing pretty light clothes. So we are lucky with you as well in terms of the weather today. I can call this tour unique. First of all, because of the place itself, because it's really very nice and cozy, and I will show you nice spots here. But also because of the weather. That can be the second reason, but also because of some COVID restrictions, which are going right now, more and more. So let me put a fast comment about how the things are going here in terms of the COVID and quarantine things. So last week we had new rules from our Moscow government. So they advised for the adult people 65 plus, if I'm not mistaken, to stay home, to work from home if it's possible. So the people are saying that the second wave can come very soon, and that's why we don't even know if we will have a chance to enjoy life as we do now, because honestly now Moscow is back to real normal life, I would say. So everything is working, everything is opened. As you can see, lots of people on the street. Then we will pass with you the area of bars and cafes, and you will understand that there are really lots of them. But nobody knows what is going to be in a month or even in the upcoming weeks. So I just share with you the views of the ponds. Let me stay a bit closer to them. Over here, look how beautiful is it. During the winter time, by the way, the pond is frozen, and here is their free, which is very important, free ice rink, where lots of people, lots of citizens are coming with their ice skates and just have fun, enjoy the beautiful views and enjoy the skating. So as I remember, last year and the previous years, it was even decorated with a huge Christmas tree in the middle of the pond. So it's very nice here, even in the winters. So not only during the summer and autumn time. Yeah. So honestly, I can say that the atmosphere of this place is very, very comfortable and cozy. So that's why when some people from abroad are asking me what to see and what to explore in the city center or in Moscow, especially if you have a few time, I always, of course, recommend them to visit like the city historical center, like Red Square. But also, I think that Patriarch Ponds is a spot which is very worth to see and visit because of its atmosphere, because of its views, environment, lots of nice places to eat and have to enjoy coffee. I will tell you a bit later about it and to show you. So also, if you are coming here with the kids, there are even some sports for the kids as well. So here you can really enjoy your time together with all your family. By the way, here it's also very crowded usually, lots of kids. Very nice spot. But as I told you before, I would call this place interesting, not from the historical point of view, and I will explain you why. So honestly, the surrounding of this pond is the buildings which look really old and very historical, but to be honest, they are not. And I will show you and tell you what I mean. Just a few seconds. We will explore with you some very famous, I would say, buildings in the surrounding area. So I will highlight a couple of them and tell you nice stories and funny stories. So that's why for a second we should step out of the pond and go closer to this particular building, which is called very Porsche. It is called Patriarch. So what do you think? Here I got a question to you. What do you think? How old is this big, huge building, which looks very monumental? But yeah, what is your guess? How old is this particular one? And then I will tell you. So meanwhile, I'm looking at the chat, and I see the question. Where is the cat monument? Just a second, I will tell you later. Okay, so as we have no guesses in the chat, I will tell you. So this particular building is very new. It's only from 2002. And yes, 10 years. You were very close to the truth. So it is about 20 years only. And it is said that people are calling it one of the most ugly in the Moscow city center. But even though, so I mean, it's very expensive in terms of their apartments. And just to show you other places here, I'm going to highlight one more building, which I honestly like even more. It is my favorite spot here, one of my favorites. So we will move forward here. By the way, as we are passing the area nearby the apartments and buildings, I will tell you one more interesting fact about it, and especially in particular about their citizens of this place. So here, as you can understand, the price for the apartments is very high. So the apartment can cost millions of euros, but because of the bars and their cafes, it is pretty noisy. And of course, as you can see, the traffic is also pretty heavy. That's why the citizens of the surrounding buildings and the surrounding houses are always complaining about noise. Because of course, to pay like a couple of millions euros for an apartment and then to live with this noise, it's very, very uncomfortable. But one interesting fact is last year, if I'm not mistaken, the city government has made a decision after the complaints of the citizens to prohibit for their motorbike riders right here from 10 in the evening till 7 in the morning. And actually this particular area, the area of Patriarch Ponds, is the only one in Moscow where it is really prohibited for motorbikers to ride there during the night. So Other places you are warmly welcome, but not Patriarch ponds. And this is because of those lots of complaints of the citizens of this particular area. But here I am not just by chance. I want to highlight this particular building, which is also looks very, very monumental and very beautiful. So this house is called the House with Lines, but the official, oh, let me show why. So because of those lines on the columns of their building, but the official name is the General's House, and it's one of the most, I would say, famous one here in this area. Let me show you. Yeah, here are the lines on the top of the columns. So the history of this building is also pretty short, I would say, because it was built at the end of their Second World War, 1945, 1944, 1945. And it was built by the order, I would say, of Stalin, who wanted to make a present for the generals of the army, of the Soviet Union army. And he told the architects to develop something really beautiful. So this building, I would say, is a present for the generals of Soviet Union army. So here there is only 6 apartments inside, even though it looks very huge. But each of them is more than 200 square meters. So here, as you can see, we have even photo sessions here. By the way, this place is really very popular, especially this particular door. And when I'm passing by, there are lots of people making photos. And I can understand why, because one of my interior designer's friends, he is saying that this is one of the most beautiful doors in Moscow. It is made of wood. It is very, very high. You see the sculptures upstairs. Yeah. So if you want to make a beautiful photo when you are nearby, come here and you will get it. So even though the building itself is pretty new, but me personally, I love it a lot. I think it's one of the most beautiful really in the city center. And by the way, an interesting fact is that after Stalin times, the period of Khrushchev, this building was the example of anti-taste, because they were saying that it's too posh, it's too bourgeois, and this is an example how not to build. So it was said that this particular building is an anti-example. I don't know why they didn't destroy it, because usually that's how their Moscow authorities were doing it, but we're lucky that they didn't do this. So let's move forward. Here I want to highlight a couple of new places which are connected with food, because I remember that I promised you to show some very nice spots in terms of where to eat as well. So here we have a Patara restaurant, which is a Georgian one. I would say that I can call it pretty good, but very expensive. But if you want to have some very cozy evening, I recommend to go inside of this tunnel and explore their spot of Patara, which is outside in the courtyard. Not everybody knows about it, but it's very, very nice. Here they have a couple of tables. So if you want to enjoy some time together or maybe have a cozy evening, so I strongly recommend to order those particular buildings. So let's go back. That was just my tip about this place. On the right side, there is one more pretty famous restaurant, which is an Indian one. An interesting fact about it is that even though this looks like a door inside, it is not, guys. And they feel very, very mad if you are trying to enter it from this side. Before they had the signs over here that there is no entrance, don't entrance here, because honestly the door is from this way. But people were trying, so that's why what they did, as you can see, they just put this piece of material here. So don't try to enter from this side. By the way, the restaurant itself is very nice. I was not there before myself, but I have heard lots of stories and feedbacks from my friends. So if you like Indian food, so I think I can recommend it. So one more spot in terms of where to eat, as we started with you to discuss it, and we go back to the ponds. will be just in a few seconds. Let me go closer. By the way, as you can see, we have a very polite drivers. I would say not in all the cities of Europe. To pass the road, so that's why I can say that I'm very proud of our drivers. So we are coming closer to one more spot, which is my personal recommendation. It is a cafe. On one hand, nothing special, but a place where it is located is very, very nice and very unique. That's why I want to highlight it here and show you a bit more. So let's move on and see how is it inside. Meanwhile, of course, if you want to ask something, you are warmly welcome. Let me remind you that we are working with you today around their Patriarch area in Moscow. This is the territory of an ark, which was before an entrance to the building. So they made from this, first, as I know, there was a Pilates studio here, and now it is a cafeteria. Just to prove to you this fact, you can see that there is still even their door hinges from their arcs, from the doors, as you can see. So their walls are really old, and they have their second floor. Why I love this place as well is that because they have an incredible patisserie and coffee, and in general, just here, the sizes of their and maybe even to eat something, because they also have something to eat. I strongly recommend this particular place. The name of it, just to note you, is here, Blanket & Co. I think they have an Instagram page, so you can come here and enjoy your coffee or grab it and go back to Patriarch. So we go back as well. It is just like 2 minutes away from here. Trees which are yellow, as I know autumn is coming to Moscow much earlier than in Europe, so now we are all really enjoying it here. I don't know why, but honestly this part of Patriarch is always less crowded than that one. I have noticed it a very long time before, and I don't know what's the reason but that particular part is much more popular. There is always more people there. So I have a comment in the chat that there is some problems with the connection, so please write me down if you have it as well, And what's the problem with the sound or with the picture? If I can do something from my side, I will do. So guys, if somebody can write me down what's the problem, I would be very thankful. Okay, meanwhile we are walking more. Go forward, move forward. As I told you, there is not only cafes here, but on this side out there, Patriarch Ponce, there are lots of different shops, like the kids shops. There are boutiques not from the chains, I would say from the global chains like Mango, Zara. It is mostly the shops of the Moscow and Russian designers. So they are really very nice to just come inside and visit. Okay, so okay, I hope that their sound is much better now and you can hear me. So a bit more about this place, why it is very popular and famous among the people. Actually, the reason is because it is closely connected with the name of very famous Russian writer, Mikhail Bulgakov, whose book Master and Margarita, I think, is well known in all the world. And honestly, so the question why it is connected with this place, because this Patriarch Ponce area is called Bulgakov's place. That's because the beginning of this book starts here on Patriarch Ponce. So if you have ever read this book, you remember, I think. So if you are a fan, now you can understand and recognize the place itself. By the way, speaking about the book, I can also recommend one more thing just nearby here to try. We have a tram route nearby Patriarch Ponce, which is called A route or Annushka among the citizens. And it is called by the name of one of the heroes of this book. And it is called one of the most beautiful routes in Russia, tram routes. And I strongly recommend, if you have time, to take this trip, I would say, just to buy a ticket which is less than €1, which costs less than €1, and enjoy your time by this tram A route. It goes through the Moscow city center, and if you are lucky and you manage to occupy a place nearby the window, you will really enjoy the views of Moscow city center. So just one more tip, if you have time and if you are here nearby, take the A route tram and enjoy your tour in the Moscow city center. It's much better than there's those buses, city tour buses. So don't spend your time and money for this. Better take this tram and you will really enjoy this. An accident with the tram was there. Very good question. I think you have read the book. Yes, in their book there was mentioned an accident with the tram, but honestly, it is not here. The reason is because it was, I would say, made by Bulgakov in their book, but itself there is no tram routes so nearby this Ponce area, so it's a bit more far away from here. And if you have read a book, it was said that it was going really just here nearby, but you will not find it here. Yeah, you did. Yeah, now I can understand. So one more thing about Bulgakov here, if you're really a fan of his books, is that of course we have a museum of Bulgakov, which is located also really nearby, a bit closer to the metro station, but it will take you less than 15 minutes by foot from here. And there is a Bulgakov's museum, which is honestly pretty small, but at the same time it has more than 3,000 things connected with the book and Bulgakov himself. I was there and I can strongly recommend you to go there because the ticket itself is also very cheap, but it's really nice to see. There are even, as I'm not mistaken, there is even a cinema which is showing some films, and it's really nice. You can meet people who are also fans of this author and writer and just enjoy. So Katishka is making a comment that her friend collects Master and Margarita in all languages. That's a very, very nice hobby, I would say. I can't imagine how many books he or she have for the moment. But I just read it, but the book is very popular among the people from abroad. By the way, here there is a spot now. Unfortunately, we don't hear the music, but usually, especially during the evening, there is a guy singing and playing a guitar. And so you can also enjoy some music here. He's working for tips, of course. Oh no, he is here preparing for another song, by the way. Just a second. Yeah, if we're lucky with you, maybe we'll even hear something. Yeah, guys, we are lucky. So if you can enjoy some music here. It is very romantic, especially in the evening when it's going dark. Oh no. Okay, he's not going to sing, unfortunately, so let's not lose time and move forward. Earlier, that's why when you're passing by here, it is full of lights, full of Christmas trees. It is really beautiful. Lots of people are making photo sessions just here, and I can understand why. So just put something more warm and enjoy this area also in the winter. I strongly recommend it. But as a tip, I can recommend you to go here during their breakfast time, when only for around 10 euros you'll get a very good breakfast, like eggs, sausages, a glass of fresh juice, coffee, and bread. So it's pretty a lot. So and you can enjoy the atmosphere. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go inside. It's not very polite. I would say there are lots of people. But just write down in their Google the name of the restaurant, and you will find more information. They also have an Instagram page. So really, if you want to eat somewhere in a nice place, I recommend this particular one. Let's pass by the street back and go on another side of it, closer to this particular building. You see, this is what I was talking about. Lots of photo sessions here. I think when I was walking for the tour, I have met a couple of more than 5 people in 5 different photo sessions. So this, by the way, is a well-known pizzeria, Master and Margarita. So if you're a fan of Italian food, this is also a spot for you to enjoy. Lots of people, guys. Lots of them. I am trying to do my best not to crush someone. By the way, here we also have our bike routes. So this particular one is a bike route, by the way. So also a tip from me is, if you have a little time in Moscow, take a bike and explore a city by bike, because it will be faster. Or by the scooter. By the way, we also have them, electric scooter. That will be much faster, and you will not be so tired, because Moscow is huge and it's impossible to see it all by foot in one day. So that will save you time and energy. By the way, here is a very interesting spot, I would say, is Agent Provocator shop, which I am very surprised to see, honestly. Every time I'm passing it, I am wondering, as a marketing person, why they put this here on Patriarch Ponds, because it's really an area of cafes, restaurants, bars, maybe some shops, but particular ones. So I'm always wondering why they decided to put here Agent Provocator shop. But anyway, so it is here. Also, one more Italian food restaurant. By the way, I can say that the Patriarch Pond area is well known for very different types of the restaurants. We have like an Asian one, Italian, Georgian one. So you will find for yourself the food which you like, because there are really lots of them and very different and pretty good. For example, this particular is the best Italian restaurant in the area. It occupies about 3 floors. You can see this. Oh, sorry. We're not here. Oh, this is a Georgian one. We'll come a bit closer. Yeah, this one. Maritoso Osteria. Yeah, this one is a very well-known, good Italian restaurant. By the way, now we are going a bit away from Patriarch Ponds itself. It is still the area of Patriarch, but it's already the Malebronne Street. A very popular walking area. So during the night and during the evening, it is also very crowded here, and it is lots of lights and people, so you will really feel the atmosphere of the city if you'll just pass by here, walk around. By the way, we are coming closer to one more interesting building, which for this time is really historical, I would say, because it's much older than others, which I highlighted to you. And I will tell you why I love this so much and why I want to highlight it. And for this, I need to pass the street. I'm so sorry. Thank you. So let's go on another side. So I'm talking about this particular building. This one, the beige. Yeah, this one where you can see a pharmacy on the first level. This one is, I can call it really historical, because this one is already from the 19th century, pretty old for this area. And if you can see, there is a signs which are historical, so it is translated as dentist. But before, in the 90s, I think, in the 1990s or maybe 2000, there was still a pharmacy here, but there was no original sign. It was hidden by an ugly plastic new one. And just a couple of years, I think 10 or 15 years before, when the city was reconstructed, they have found occasionally those parts of the building, and then they renovated the building. So they demolished the ugly one, and they have shown this particular beautiful one. There is one more with the name Pharmacy just in front part of this building. Here it is. Yeah. And by the way, this is also one of the most popular spots for the photo sessions here in this area. So it is it. Let's move forward. So now, guys, we are just walking with you in this area and enjoy the views. And autumn in the Moscow city center. So meanwhile, I welcome all who joined the tour as well, and remind you that we are walking in the area of Patriarch in Moscow. We are catching the last warmth and sun and this season, I would say, because it is said that in a week it will be much colder. So we are lucky with you today to have a good weather and to enjoy during the tour. So I told you a bit about the area which we're passing by, and would like to mention that here I would recommend to well, depends of course on your interests, but to come here closer to the evening when it's going darker, like after 7, to walk around, maybe to have a dinner and to enjoy, because it never sleeps. I was here even early in the morning, like, or at night. There is always people, there is always lots of interesting spots. So if you want to feel the real, I would say, pulse of the city and the citizens, I recommend to come here. Okay, just a quick overview from here. Today we had a pretty fast tour with you. I wanted to show you the spot, to highlight some interesting places, to give you some tips, and let me warmly thank you for being here. So if you come to Moscow, I strongly recommend to spend some time here, because of course we didn't see lots of things which will take us much more time, but I thank you all for your attention and invite you to join other tours from locally in other cities. It's really worth it. So have a very wonderful evening, enjoy Moscow, and good luck. Thank you.